Hello, and I welcome you for this AWS Cloud Foundations Module 10. In this Module 10, I will be demonstrating this Lab 6, that is scale and load balance your architecture. So, this is the lab of Lab 6, scale and load your balance architecture, load balance your architecture. I have already started the lab and the lab is ready to run. So here the objectives of this lab is create an Amazon machine image from a running instance, and also we will be creating a load balancer, the tasks which are involved, create a launch configuration and an auto scaling configuration, automatically scale new instances within a private subnet, and also finally we will create a crowd watch alarms and monitor performance for your infrastructure. So I click AWS, which will open a new window. So yes, the task 1 which we need to perform is something like we need to create an AMI. Okay, so here we have what we call as a web server. Okay, for the existing web server, that is the instance. Let me just take you to the instance EC2. So here you have this running instances, which is web server 1 and bastion host. We are going to take this AMI for this web server 1. So how to take an AMI? Very simple. Select the instance and take an image. Select the instance, and under actions, what you can do is you can take image and templates, create image. So the name of the image which I want to give is something like, name of the image is web server AMI. I copy the name, same name. You can give whatever name you want. Item description is lab AMI for web server. Okay, so here that's all. You can create image. Rest all things you can leave it default. If you want to make a no reboot, that is cold backup, warm backup, that is online, you can just select this enable, so that the system will not go for a reboot, otherwise it will go for a reboot. But this is always safe to take a server reboot, so that all the memory contents will be synced. So yes, I have taken the image, request has been taken. You can see this AMI now should be created very soon, very soon. So this, the visibility is private AMI. So the status is pending. So normally the more the size, the more the time taken. Here we have something like 8 GB. So it should be taken about in 3 to 4 minutes of time total. If it is more than that, then you can expect a little bit more time. This is task 1. Now leave it, the things will be getting ready. Let us focus on this, how to create load balancer. So here in load balancer, we need to see this load balancer here. We need to create this, choose target group and instances. Okay, select instances and say lab group, the target group name. Okay, so scroll down. Here you see the load balancer. See this, when you scroll down, you select this target group and create a target group. And the target group name, you can select this instances only. The target group name is lab group. Yeah, and of course you need to select some more things, lab VPC, and say next. So there are about 2 steps here. Select this lab VPC. Okay, health checks, leave it as it is, and say tags also default, leave it optional. Say next. So then next the register target group screen appears. So yeah, nothing major changes in this particular one here. Yeah, this is register targets. Anyway, we are going to take these targets from the load balancer. So leave this target group as it is, create a target group. So this is the second step. Yeah, we have created this target group. This is ready now. So now once you create the target group, let us create this load balancer. Load balancer, this is the second step of creating the load balancer. So here you see the load balancers. Create a load balancer, select this application load balancer, create this application load balancer. We are going to create application load balancer. Yes, so create 17th number, give a label called as label B, load balancer name. Okay, load balancer name, you can give anything. Here he asked us to do label B, create the VPC, and also for public subnet 1, public subnet 2 should be added as part of your networking. Lab VPC, scroll down. Yeah, in security groups, delete the default one and select your public. Sorry, this one. In your mappings, okay, select not private, it is public subnet 1, and in 1B you can select public subnet 2. Okay, so coming to the security groups, you can see we need to select web security group and create the load balancer. Yeah, in security groups you can select web security group. Now we need to create a listener. So hence we have already created the target group earlier. So what you can do, select the lab group here. Okay, lab group, and create the load balancer. If you have not created earlier, then you should create now. Okay, so add services, this is all the settings which we have given. Create a load balancer. So this you can verify also, it will take some time for us to see the load balancer. Yeah, you can just say refresh to see your load balancer. Should be in provisioning. Yeah, you can see this one, it is in provisioning. After a few minutes, I think 2 to 3 minutes, you can see this will be available, and also you should be getting an endpoint also. Right, I duplicate this session. Okay, so view load balancer, it is in provisioning, there is no need to wait until it is ready. Please continue to the next task. So we are in the next task. So this is auto scaling. So create a launch configuration and an auto scaling. So create a launch configuration. So go to the extreme bottom. So launch configurations, auto scaling. Okay, create launch configuration, and see, give the name of this one as lab config, and also create a launch configuration. Before that, let me check for my AMI whether it is created completely or not. So you see this one, this is the AMI, it is available. The task 1 which we have done, yeah, AMI is available completely. So again I go to auto scaling launch configuration, create a launch configuration. The name is lab config. So here the AMI you need to select is the AMI which you have created, that is web server AMI. See this, web server AMI. Okay, and select this T3 micro, choose. So choose, select T3 micro and say choose. Scroll down, instance type, choose. You have a lot, otherwise you can say T3 dot micro. Yeah, you have this instance. Select that, say choose. Perfect, you have to see this particular one. Next is T3 micro, choose, we have chosen. So if you have launched so and so, T2 micro is the instance type, this anything is okay. So monitoring, enable EC2 detailed monitoring, he asked us to enable. Scroll down, Yeah, select this one. Rest all you can leave defaults. This one purchasing request spot options not required. AWS instance, yeah. So we have given this particular one additional configuration. This will allow to see the utilization also. And now in security group we need to select web security group. Storage is okay. Select an existing. You can select web security group. Yes, it has been selected. Key pair you can select work key. So it has been selected now. Work key, and I acknowledge, create the launch configuration. Yeah, I have selected work key and I can create launch configuration. I can also say acknowledge. Yeah, create launch configuration. So successfully created launch config. You can see this. Yeah, lab config, it has been created. Also you can see this one, the previous one. Just try to refresh this load balancer. You should see this is active. Once this is active, click your load balancer. You should get an endpoint. The DNS name is your endpoint. Okay, just copy this one into a new browser window. Press it. So leave it. Now nothing will work. Later on, once we complete this service is temporarily unavailable. I'm moving it aside. Okay. So this lab config is done. The launch configuration is done. Now let us choose this auto scaling group. Create auto scaling group. We need to do auto scaling group creation. So under actions, create auto scaling group. So once this launch configuration is done, we are going to create auto scaling group. So this is auto scaling group. The name is, like, you can give lab auto scaling group. Okay. The launch configuration, you can select this lab config which we have already created and it is already displaying. Okay. So there are 7 steps here. First step is done. So next is the VPC. Select your VPC as lab VPC, and private subnet 1, private subnet 2 needs to be selected. So lab VPC, yeah. Availability zones, select your private subnet 1 and private subnet 2. Yeah, it is selected, and say next. So here the first step is done. The second step, you can choose attach to an existing load balancer and define the load balancer. Yeah, attach to an existing load balancer. So here choose from your load balancer target groups which we already have. Yeah, in health check, enable this group metrics monitoring. He asked us to choose enable group metrics. You see this one? Yeah, and say next. Yeah, this is the policy. We need to define the policy. The desired one is 2, the minimum capacity is 2, maximum is 4. So this is the recommendation which is given based on our requirement. We generally provide this one. And scaling policy, let us do this target tracking policy. Yeah, target tracking policy. Average CPU utilization, target value is 60. Yeah, it is 50. You can make it 60. Normally we generally keep 80 or something like that, but here for testing purpose only we are giving as 60. Okay, rest all is default. So next, you can say next. This is the third step. If you want notifications, you can send it to your email ID. SNS can be given. It's not required as of now. And also add tags. Next step is add tags. So here the name and your lab instance. So here you can give as name and value as lab instance and say next. So we are in the final step. This is a review. So you can do the review and create auto scaling group. Okay, create auto scaling group. So this has taken the request of creating this auto scaling group. So once this request is done, you can see 2 instances should be created very soon. 2 instances of, yeah, it has started already. You can see instances 2, it has taken desired capacity as 2, minimum capacity as 2. Let me also show you on the EC2 instances dashboard. Yeah, you can see lab instance 2 instances started running, already initiated. You can see this one, 2 instances started working. Okay, this completes task number 3. So now let me check, once the instance is running, let us check this load balancer working or not. As I already mentioned this URL earlier, which was showing temporarily available, once the server is ready, you can see this one, once it is ready, you can see your load balancer also should start functioning. Now let me try to refresh. If it is ready, you will see the website running. Yes, I can see the website running. Fantastic. This is how you can check your DNS name, which I mentioned earlier. So this completes even task 4 also. Now let us try to test this auto scaling. So yeah, in the services, what I want to show you is that click this CloudWatch and also alarms. Okay, so we will configure this alarms also. So this is auto scaling group. Yes, leave this one as it is. I'll duplicate this one. Maybe I'll say here this CloudWatch. This is a service for especially for monitoring. Okay, in CloudWatch, select this all alarms. You see this one, alarms. So this is how it looks like. This is alarms. The first one is in alarm. When alarms come, it is 0. This is insufficient data, and this is okay. You can see, check this one. Yeah, all alarms. So you will see typically all alarms. Click this. You will see there are okay and insufficient data is there. Okay. So any type of because since we have enabled this monitor all these things, every 60 seconds it will start working. So when the CPU utilization is greater than 30, then you can see an alarm called as critical alarm will come, this one. Okay, so as of now the status is fully okay. You can see this okay. You can try to refresh to see, yes, okay, the data, as soon as you get the data, it should be okay, right? So now what we will do, please follow the steps in EC2. What we are going to do, auto scaling groups, lab auto scaling group and auto scaling tab. You can see the lab scaling policy, edit to 50. So earlier we have created with the 60. So now what we are going to do, we are just modifying this value from 60 to 50. So here, this is the one, lab auto scaling policy. Just say edit. You can modify this one to 50. Yeah, it will be there in the tracking. Automatic scaling tab. I go back to auto scaling group, select this. Okay, the auto scaling tab, lab scaling policy. select that. The automatic scaling tab is there. You can see this policy, select the policy, okay, and then here actions, you can say edit. You can edit from 60 to 50 and say update. Okay, so this is how you can edit your policies. Right. So here click the OK alarm which has the alarm high. So in the navigation pane, click all alarms. 2 alarms are available. You see here 2 alarms are available. There are 2 alarms which we already reviewed. Insufficient data, later on it will come to 1. Okay. Click the OK alarm which is alarm high in name, CPU utilization greater than. Now let us do the point numbers 57. We will be doing this load test. So we will be increasing the load from as of now the load is very less. You see this one load is 0%. Once I say this load test, the CPU will shoot up value. I mean once the CPU, the load is high for a period of time beyond greater than. So I click this load test. So load is 70%. Our target tracking policy says that if your load is more than 50% for a period of time, your auto scaling group will now change from 2 to the desired quantity will push from 2 to 3, like that, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, maximum is 3 to 4. Let us wait, and also we can see that there is an instance also which will be coming. Also we can monitor the alarms also. Yeah, in less than 5 minutes of time alarm should be okay. Okay, just wait for few minutes. You can see that there will be more instances running across. Okay, in alarm state, and in the navigation pane you can see that there are more instances running. So let me just 76%, try to refresh. So it is only 2 instances as of now. I will come back after a minute's time. See this, the load is 73%, it is still running. Just wait for 3 to 5 minutes of time, then you should see the desired instance should move from 2 to 3, like that. This configures your auto scaling, and we should also verify that the instances should also grow up. Now only 2 instances are there. So now you can see that the desired capacity has moved from 2 to 4. So in a very soon, once the desired capacity moved, the instances also will be launched. Another additional 2 instances will be launched. So now the instance count has moved from 2 to 4. You can see currently 2. Once I refresh, you can see more instances running. Lab instance, you can see this indicates that the load has increased. So the instances are fully running and also with full capacity, and since the desired capacity is required, you can see that more instances has included along with that. You see this, even here you should see an alarm, in alarm has come. Earlier we were having only OK, but now an alarm mentioning that target tracking lab auto scaling policies. You can see in details also. It is in alarm state. It has crossed the threshold. It is greater than 50% for more than 3 minutes. Hence, this alarm has come. If you configure notifications also, it will show you in your email box. So this is basically task number 5, and task number 6 is terminate this web server 1. Let us learn about the last task which is there in this particular exercise. This is web server 1. So I am trying to terminate this one. So one go, it is enough. So remember, once you terminate the instance, you can never bring back the instance at any cost. Yeah, the request has been taken, web server, no more it is required because already auto scaling is being deployed here. Okay, you can see this, that's the end of this lab, terminate. So once this is done, You can see from the instances that this should give a message saying that it is terminated. It is terminated after a few minutes. Okay, so we have successfully completed this lab. Once this lab is done, you can say end lab and say yes. Yeah, the resources all will be getting terminated. So this is the end of our lab exercise 6 and also the end of our total module 10 lab. Okay, so keep practicing all the labs multiple times so that you will become more and more confident. Okay, do message me in case if you have any questions in this comments box. Thank you and bye.